Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Brothers Take podcast, a podcast where dirty brothers get together each and every week, usually to talk gaming, but in the last few weeks we've actually taken a break from talking about gaming, and in this week's episode, we are going to be talking about the premiere, just the first two episodes of the new Disney Plus show, Alien Earth. Sounds wrong to say Disney Plus show and then Alien, but but do you know what? As well, yeah, like that could come with a lot of fears. I remember when it was like Disney had bought Alien, and we were all like, oh no, what will that mean?" Luckily, so far, it doesn't mean that they've actually like completely like let's make Alien family friendly. You know what I mean? Like that hasn't happened.
No.
That hasn't happened.
I think we talked about Alien Romulus, and yeah, that's definitely not
That's
family
not
friendly.
what, yeah, that's not what they've done. So we've talked about Alien a few times on this podcast. Like we did a ranking of the Alien movies. We've done the in-depth review for Alien Romulus. So we're here to talk Alien again because clearly we are fans of the Alien franchise. We're going to be giving our first impressions of Alien Earth. At time of recording, the first two episodes are out, so we are going to be talking about those. And just bear in mind, there will be spoilers for just those first two episodes, just to allow us to kind of talk about it. And then we might talk about what we hope to see for the rest of the show. So this is the first impressions. Will not be every week then, like similar to what we did with The Last of Us. It's we're doing first impressions now, and then when the whole show is out, maybe we'll do a review of the whole thing. So this is just the first two episodes, just the first impressions. Spoilers for the first two episodes, but we don't know what happens in the rest of the show. So if you're at the same place as us, don't worry, we're not spoiling the rest of the show. It's really just sort of a check-in with other fans as well to see how are people feeling about the initial look at this new show. Are we hyped about it? Are we not hyped about it? How are Alien fans feeling about it? Please do join in on the discussion. And in terms of other Disney sci-fis, I'm also going to just give a quick review of Fantastic Four First Steps, the most recent MCU movie.
Which is probably this is the first time in a long time I think the MCU has been brought up
on the podcast.
Yeah.
I just think as well, it's like because it's going to be a non-spoiler review. It's not long enough to garner its own episode. And yeah, I just feel like, I'll just tack it in here. Like we're talking sci-fi, we're talking Disney, so I just said, look, we'll talk it here. But there'll be timestamps. So if you want to just skip straight to the Alien stuff, jump down in the description, get to the timestamp and you can go straight to it. If you want to jump to the Fantastic Four stuff, jump to it'll be timestamped if that's what you want to talk about. And of course, we want to hear from you guys too. So if you're watching YouTube, jump down in the comments, share your thoughts. If you enjoyed this episode, please do give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and ring the notification bell for all future episodes. And to those who listen to us on audio platforms, you can touch base on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and X at The Brothers Take. Again, to give your take on Alien Earth or on Fantastic Four First Steps. But without further ado, let's talk sci-fi. So just to start, before we get into the alien stuff, the real topic of this episode, I did want to give a non-spoiler review for Fantastic Four First Steps. I was like, you know what, I kind of do want to have a moment on the podcast somewhere where I talk about it. I was like, I don't really want to do a bonus, and I think, but I know you're going to see it as well. Or we're planning on going to see it.
Yeah,
I'm going to go see it a second time. Yeah, and I'm happy enough to see it a second time. So that's part of this non-spoiler review. I like it. I really like it. But I was like, if we wait till then to do, because I know we've got Gamescom coming up next, so that's going to be the next episode. So I was like, by the time there's an opportunity to actually do, like, say, if you wanted to do a spoiler talk on it, it's kind of like it's been and gone. Like people have already, it's no longer the topic. So I just wanted to take a moment to like at least mention it because you did the non-spoiler review for Superman when I hadn't seen it, and so now I'm doing it for Fantastic Four when you haven't seen it. And
it's payback.
It's payback is what it is. Well, I didn't have like many expectations going into this. I do think it's a shame that it has taken this long for the Fantastic Four to be in the MCU. I know it was because Fox owned it, and there was a lot of. It took a long time to get it, and similarly with X, but it's that thing as well of like years ago it was announced that they had been bought, and in some ways I'm like, I wish they had scrapped the projects they had been working on and just got straight to Fantastic Four and X-Men. Like they're part of Marvel's identity in such a big way that I feel they should be in here sooner.
because it wasn't that long after Endgame that they had Fox, wasn't it?
In my memory, they've actually had Fantastic Four and X-Men for years. I
No,
don't know
the
when it was, but it's been for years.
I thought it was like a little bit. I thought it was kind of around Endgame or a little bit after Endgame that they got Fox. And that was like the exciting thing. In which, for me personally, I think that they should have waited. They should have had a break. They should have given everyone a break after Endgame.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And then once they had Fox, start again. And like now we can do the X-Men and blah 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 and Fantastic Four and Daredevil. Like now we can bring Daredevil properly into it and Blade and everyone else that they just haven't done. That it would feel like a new exciting phase, I suppose, because now you have all these new characters, and then it's gonna be exciting when these new characters are gonna meet the original characters and stuff like that. But just kind of give some of
Yeah.
the originals a much needed holiday after the titanicness that was phases one, two, and three.
Well, I came out of Fantastic Four and felt that it should have been the first movie after Endgame.
Damn son.
Because it feels refreshing. It
Mm,
does feel like the start of a different phase. It's I'm not going to talk any spoilers. I'm only going to talk about what people know from the trailers and
mm,
from the marketing, right? People know it's set in an alternate Earth, not
mm.
on the same Earth as everyone else, and that's why it has its own look. It's got a retro vibe, and like it looks amazing. Like it looks fantastic, and I think I said this to you
Hey,
before. Hey, actually, I didn't even realize that. I actually wish James Gunn's Superman looked like this
I think yeah, you did
to
say that to
set
me.
it apart from, to
The
make it
others,
really clear that it's like the DC has like restarted again. But I feel like if this movie came after Endgame, one, it would be whoa, like we're getting the Fantastic Four. Two, it would be this would be your introduction to the multiverse
mm.
by being on a different world. And
Yeah, it's
ha
much cleaner to do it that way.
yeah, 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 it would feel like a clean. We're not continuing the story, but this is like a whole new chapter
Hmm.
rather than the movies that did come after Endgame. And I don't dislike all the movies that came after Endgame, but personally, I think this is the best movie since Endgame.
Hmm.
And that's not to try and, so if you haven't seen it yet, I'm not trying to big this up to like oh, this is an Endgame or Infinity War event style movie. It's not at all. Like it is like a standalone MCU movie, but I just think it is the strongest MCU movie since then, and it
Hmm.
doesn't feel like it's bogged down in the setting up multiple TV shows and oh, this character has to come in because we're setting up this thing. It feels very standalone,
Hmm.
but obviously we know that these characters will come into
The
um
MCU. Yeah, yeah.
like look
The
at if
the
you're
greater
following
whole.
the MCU at all, you know that next year Avengers Doomsday is coming, right? So it's
Right.
like that like these characters are gonna have to in some way.
That's the end of. Is that the end of phase five?
I think they've already finished phase five. I don't fucking. The problem is the phases used to be much clearer because they always led up to
An Avengers movie.
an event movie, which would be an Avengers movie. And
Yeah.
because they haven't done that, and now they've got two coming up, right?
Yeah.
Which are the ones that are people are probably excited for because like it's like yeah, yeah, all this wasted time. Come on, get to something important. But yeah, it's not clear to me which where a phase ended, what a phase was about, who was on what phase. Like to
Yeah.
me, it's
Well.
just been just movies have just kept coming out, like
Yeah. Yeah.
an
And
endless
and then
barrage
TV
of
shows
movies.
and yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
It's
don't
been
know
much.
where the phases are anymore. I don't know what's going on. I don't even know if they're still focused on any kind of multiversal plot whatsoever. I do think that they've pivoted in a big way because obviously they had planned on making Kang the next sort of big villain, the next Thanos, and
Mm.
obviously things changed, and Doctor Doom is going to be the next big villain, and it's like, well, yes, that makes way more sense anyway.
Yeah, he
Doom
can
should be the next big villain.
because he can go. He's such a fascinating character from the comics and everything. He's which actually, when you look into him, he's been done so dirty in all the other live action movies.
Yeah,
Like he is just like he can go toe to toe to Hulk. Like he is, and Doctor Strange and Reed Richards in terms of intelligence. Like and
yeah.
Iron Man. I know Iron Man's not around, but an Iron Man in terms of gadgets and blah blah. you know, like he has such a roster and he's such an interesting villain, and he can be an ally
Mm.
if that makes sense, but he can also be a villain, like because
He
if something like Galactus is coming, he's like, well, like, I'm going to help you now because I don't want the world to end.
yeah, of
But
course.
it's
He
like
is
making it
sort of, I always see him as he is sort of the arch enemy of Marvel. Like,
really,
I know he's a Fantastic Four villain, but I always see Doctor Doom as like, I see him as the Lex Luthor of Marvel.
yeah,
Like it's like, okay,
yeah,
I know he's the Fantastic Four's arch enemy, but you can also put him in any. He can go against anyone,
yeah.
and also anytime you're doing oh, this is the whole, like if you're doing a big DC crossover event, so oh well, Lex Luthor's going to be in there somewhere, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's got to crock up because that's just the way it is. And Doctor Doom, I feel, is like the Lex Luthor of Marvel.
Yeah, that's a fair comparison.
Um, no, so yeah, when I say that, I don't mean like he's the biggest threat. I don't mean he's the, like again, like if you're looking at DC, like he's not Darkseid. You know
No,
what I
no.
mean? He's not that. But Darkseid is more of a, oh, we need to get to like the world ending, the universe ending kind of threat now. You know, they'll get
Mm,
everyone together. So that's your Thanos kind of a character. You know,
yeah.
so Doom to me was, yeah, always sort of the Lex Luthor of Marvel. It's so strange to me that they would have once they got Fantastic Four. It's so strange to me that they weren't automatically being like, he's the next big villain. Of
Mm,
course he is. Like that just makes so much sense. Um, I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with him in the future. But we're not talking about that right now. Fantastic Four, love the style of it. The director is very clearly a fan of the Fantastic Four.
nice.
Very clearly, like an actual fan, not just trying to do some sort of take on it. This is nothing like that Fantastic Four movie that came out with Miles Teller and them, where they try to do like a dark take on Fantastic Four, and halfway through the movie, just scramble to the end of the movie and then finish the movie. Like, and I was like, what the fuck just happened? This is very like this is a love letter to Fantastic Four and everything that it's about, and it is way deeper than I thought it was going to be. I would have thought with the Fantastic Four and MCU, you're like, oh well, it's going to be just like a humorous movie the whole way through. They
Mm.
seem like the prime targets for that MCU humor.
Right. Yeah.
And that's not to say that there's not humor in this, and there's
Yeah.
not light in this, and there's a lot of heart in this because this is Marvel's first family, and
Hmm.
they are a family. Um,
So Vin
but
Diesel's in it.
huh?
So
Yeah, yeah, family. But yeah, it deals with its sort of topic, like the plot. It takes it very seriously, and I
Okay,
really
that's
like
nice.
that. As well as being, obviously, it's a fantasy, it's a sci-fi. It's, they're trying to tackle these giant problems with things that are not actually possible in our world. But you have to, it's a comic book movie. It's a
Yeah, well,
Fantastic
it's just
Four movie.
like I don't like we've never had an issue with humor being in these movies. We've had an issue with not taking a moment seriously when it requires being serious. So the fact that you're saying that no, they do like yes, there is humor that you expect it, but the fact that they are taking moments seriously, like I'd imagine as the trailer's showing, Galactus shows up. I'd imagine they're not making jokes about Galactus's name or something like that. Call them like Galaxy Twist or something, something stupid where it's just like, what are you doing? Like this is the Galactus. So I'd imagine
Yeah.
that's all taken quite
Yeah, like
seriously.
you'll be happy to know there are no jokes made at the expense of Galactus, and Galactus
Fantastic.
makes absolutely no jokes.
Even better. Nice.
So that whole thing, Galactus is taken very seriously in this movie, even though presented comic book accurately.
Hmm.
So yeah, the movie takes itself seriously and is grounded within its own world, and then of course just the costuming, the style of it all, like it just looks amazing. Like it actually look. There is a couple of dodgy CGI bits. There's a couple of
Hmm.
bits where you're going, no, we know that they rush these movies out because they set a date that they want the movie out before the movie's even fucking made
Yeah, yeah.
because they're phasing these things. So there is a couple of bits where it's like, oh, that looked a bit rough. You know what I mean? But there's other
Hmm.
bits where it's like, oh, that looked really good. All the practical stuff looks great.
Well,
Like,
practical always looks great.
yeah, but like, I thought from the trailers that it was CGI, but like, I don't know if you've seen in the trailers, the Herbie the robot.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, he's practical. They made the robot. The robot's in the movie, and I'm like, this is great. Like, that's exactly
Yeah. That's because
because
like
that's what you would do on Star Wars and stuff,
yeah, with like R2D2 and DB8, like they were practical and they look great. Like
Yeah,
that's very nice to hear that Herbie is practical effects. Do you remember I had him as a toy when I was a child?
yeah,
I,
yeah.
I had the whole.
I was honestly brought back to that, like, that set of toys,
Yeah.
And yeah, Vanessa Kirby, like, the cast are great, but Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm is amazing. She's amazing.
She's good at acting. Like she should do that
Yeah.
more. Like
She should, yeah, she should be an actor.
yeah, she's really good
Um,
at it.
the only one of the Fantastic Four in this movie that I wasn't crazy on is Ben Grimm, the Thing. He's it's not a bad take on him or anything like that, but I just don't know if it's as interesting as what was done in um the, like, early 2000s Fantastic Four movie, where the Thing was treated more as a really tragic character, you know?
Yeah, but I suppose is that just to do with timeline? Like in the early 2000s, he wakes up to find out he's a giant rock, while in this one they already have their powers. Is that maybe
Yeah,
what it is?
it could be absolutely that. It could also be just that, that's not the point. Like, the point of this movie is not the Fantastic Four origin story.
Yeah, yeah.
The point of this movie is something else,
Hmm.
you know? But yeah, I'm looking forward to you seeing it. I think you will enjoy it.
Nice,
Again,
nice.
it's not Infinity War or anything. Like, it's not going to be like this, but I think it is the best MCU movie since Endgame. I'm
Well,
curious what other people think about it.
what was the last one I watched? Last MCU movie I watched, I think, was Doctor Strange.
Oh, Jesus. I hated that. We have an
I
episode on that. That's the last time we talked about the MCU on this podcast, because I think that movie just fucking fucked us off.
Yeah, because I think I walked out of that going, all right, I'm done with seeing the MCU.
Oh, you said you would never go see another MCU movie in the cinema. Are you
Yes.
breaking that now with
I'm now.
Fantastic Four?
Well, you're saying it's good, so I'm like, okay, that means it's probably like because we have similar taste in things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you watch something and say you like it, there's a high chance I'll like it. If something I see and I like it, there's a high chance you'll like it. So therefore, it's like, okay, well, there's a
Like,
high probability.
it's fun. It's a fun movie.
It's a good crack, like it's a good crack.
It's a bit better than Good Crack. It's got a little bit more substance than just Good Crack, but it's a good
Okay,
movie.
that's
I
good.
liked it. It's a good movie. Like, as soon as I came out, I was like, I would watch that again. Like, I really enjoyed that.
That's good. That's what you
You know
want
what
from
I
a
mean?
movie, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, curious what other people think about it. And I think as well, it's nice that because it's set on its own world and all this kind of stuff, you don't have to have seen anything else.
Nice, nice.
It's all self-contained. You know what I mean? There's no, like, TV show that like, no. I will say this. This isn't like spoilers because it's what's not in it. There's no, like, moment where a portal opens and a character from the TV show you never watched comes in to talk about shit you don't know about. You know what I mean? And even there's the end credit scene is relevant to the film. You know what I mean? It's not just like some random and here comes Moon Knight. And you're like, what the fuck? Who's he? And then the person beside you go, oh, what? You never saw Moon Knight? You know? And you're like,
I was like, correct, I
it's
didn't.
like, sorry, I didn't do all my homework before I came to watch this one film. No, it's a very self-contained, like, this is its own adventure movie, which is, it's been a while since we had one of those in the MCU.
Yeah, that's nice. And is it okay? Here's a quick question.
Yeah.
Does it also end in such? I don't want you to spoil the ending, but does it
No.
end in such a way where you kind of go, okay, that was a satisfying conclusion to the movie that you could just watch this and just be wholeheartedly kind of
Yeah, I think you could. I too. I think it's a self-contained movie. Like, I think you
Nice,
could just
nice,
watch
I
this
guess.
and it's like, and know that, yeah, these characters will come into the wider universe, but this exists on its own.
Yeah, you could just sit down, watch on and you'd be pretty satisfied with the movie. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
nice. Cool,
Yeah.
cool.
It's kind of like, now when I say this, I don't mean it's actually like this movie, because they're very different directors of different styles. It was actually the same director who did WandaVision, I think.
All right. He loves his retro vibes then, doesn't he? Yeah.
But Which I remember when I watched WandaVision, I was like, why isn't this a movie? This would be a better movie than a show. But
Mm.
it kind of worked as a show too because it was going through different eras of television. Um, but I get a similar feeling to Guardians of the Galaxy in that, and I don't mean tone or in that, but you know when you watch
Right.
Guardians of the Galaxy, it exists as a standalone movie. You don't have to have seen the stuff that came before it,
Yes.
really. But you know that some of this stuff will come into the wider universe later. So it's like
Yeah,
it's more like it's setting up stuff, but it's not relying on the other stuff.
no, but it also end like the first Guardians ends in such a way where you
Yeah.
could just go, yeah, that's the movie, but if there's a sequel, there can be a sequel, but if there's just standalone, it's fine.
Yes.
Yeah, that's okay. That's yeah, sorry, that's
So
kind of
that's
more what I was
probably
asking.
in terms of other MCU movies,
Hmm,
I think comparing it to Guardians in that way is probably the best way to look
nice.
at it. But
And I
tonally
enjoyed
and all,
that.
it's not like Guardians.
No, but well, yeah, okay. I can't say I like Guardians because again, tonally, they're two different things. But I did also like Guardians.
Yeah, I take Guardians as one of
I've
the
never actually seen
better
WandaVision, so
MCU
I have
movies.
no idea what this director's style is like, other than just this person likes retro.
Uh, I think something that might help. I've heard other people compare this movie, and I've seen it, and there's certainly elements of it. But I've heard lots of people say, if you like The Incredibles,
That's fair. It does look very
you know what I mean?
Incredibles. Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's like
yeah.
a live action version of The Incredibles. But I mean,
I love The Incredibles.
if you watch The Incredibles is Fantastic Four.
It
Like
is, yeah, yeah.
basically, like that's who those characters are supposed to be. But anyway, I'd love
Unreal.
to know what other people think of Fantastic Four First Steps. Do you agree with me and think it's the best MCU movie since Endgame, or are you crazy? You think this is better than Spider-Man No Way Home? Are you out of your mind? I'm saying yes, I do actually. But yeah, I'd love to hear. I'm not saying that there's anything in
Oh,
this that's better than Willem
oh,
Dafoe's Green Goblin, but as a
oh.
whole movie, I'm saying. But yeah, I'd love to hear what you guys think. Do get in touch, let us know. But now to move on to something a little less family friendly, but still very much about family. In space, no one can hear you in space, but we're going to Earth. So let's talk about Alien Earth. The first two episodes are out, and unlike the Fantastic Four, there will be spoilers for this, but only for the first two episodes that are currently out at time of recording. There will not be spoilers for the rest of the show. We do not know what happens. We can't spoil it. We might speculate, and if we speculate right, that might spoil stuff, but we have no idea what actually happens beyond these first two episodes. Eric, did you have any anticipation levels going into Alien Earth? Were you excited for it? Were you worried about it? Anything at all?
I was confused at the amount of final trailers we got.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of fan made trailers too, right? I think there was. I'm not
Oh, was there?
sure. I think so because I kept seeing like it was never from like someone official. It was always like from like just a YouTuber. So I was always like, this can't be the actual trailer. I feel like you've just taken clips that you found and put them together. Um,
Hmm.
I don't actually know if there were many trailers, actual official trailers. I think there
Actual
was just
official trailer.
clips that people took and turned into trailers.
Maybe, maybe.
I'm not
No, I
sure.
didn't. I didn't really, in terms of like an anticipation or anything like that. No, 'cause I'm more. I suppose it's Alien, so I was going to watch it. And then on the other hand was like, okay, how are they going to make this a TV show? And
Mm,
what's the story with all the other aliens? Because in the trailer, it did show that there was other Xenos life that was
mm,
coming to Earth as well. So I think that intrigued me probably a little bit more than the Xenomorph. Not that I have no love for the Xenomorph, it's just that we've seen the Xenomorph many times. So it's like,
mm.
okay, so what role, I suppose more so is what was intrigued me, what's the role that these other aliens are going to play and how fucked up are they going to be?
Yeah.
Because
You'd
there's
be
no
like
way
interested to
they
see
were,
what other creatures you're adding to the
yeah.
mythology and stuff. Yeah, I remember when Alien Earth was first announced, I was like, I love all the artwork that you're doing with it, like having the Earth be the egg, and or like they had like the Statue of Liberty with the face hugger on it, and obviously that's all just artistic and metaphorical, not really what they're going to do. But um, I was
From
like,
what we've seen so far, you don't know. There
what?
might be a giant
I
face hugger.
Jesus, I hope not. But um, I was like, that's all cool imagery and all, but I don't know if I like the idea of xenomorphs on Earth. I suppose it's a scary concept, but like at
What are
first
you
I
talking
was
about?
like,
Are you trying to say that you did not like Alien versus Predator Requiem, Chris, when all the xenomorphs were
I
in that
I
town.
I think I explicitly said I hate that movie when we ranked them. Actually, I
Uh,
absolutely despise that movie. But not
that's
no,
good
not
crack though.
because I think like the fear or the threat of it happening is a scary thing. Like it's cool. It's more that I was like with the companies and all involved that the more they make sort of like Alien prequels, the more Wayland Yutani seem to have had lots and lots of interactions with Alien, and it
Right.
seems to diminish the freak incidences of actually finding it in the first place.
Mm,
But at this point, there's enough. Even Ridley Scott has added that Wayland Yutani have had more history with this thing than that initial movie.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, I suppose at first I just have hesitancy about it's like oh so there was like yet another incident with the where they also came across the thing because now it's on Earth. The initial premise I was a bit I'm not sure about this, um, but then I remember being told that the people who are working on the show are like relying a lot on practical effects.
Mm,
This was around the time after Alien Romulus had come out. And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool. That sounds cool. That could be great." And that they're like really proud of what they're working on and all this kind of stuff. And then the first, maybe there was like a teaser trailer or something that I saw that I was like, "Okay, no, tonally that looks pretty cool. That looks great."
mm,
Um, and then the reviews came out from people who've seen the whole season, and they spoke very highly of it. And I was like, "Okay, cool.
mm,
That's a good sign as well." Um, like everyone spoke very highly of Alien Romulus.
mm.
Um, so and I liked Alien Romulus, so I'm kind of going okay. So maybe it's of a similar vein in terms of quality at least.
Hmm.
Um, and so all we have is the first two episodes to go on. Eric, what do you think of Alien Earth so far?
Right. I kind of feel like it should just be a movie.
Okay.
So far I feel a little bit like they're dragging out stuff that's like you could have done this as a movie. Sometimes the dialogue is not great. The opening is fantastic, I think. The opening to the show, wonderful,
Hmm.
absolutely fantastic. The other aliens still haven't done much, but if any of them do things, it's kind of like that's nasty. That thing looks nasty,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I can't wait for it to fuck people up. I do think it's the practical effects do look great.
yeah.
But then there are times when you go, oh, there's CGI. I see it. I see the CGI background right there, which is a little like obviously yes. At certain points on set, it's like you can't do that real. That thing has to be CGI'd. But you know, but it's still very high quality production. Again, like Disney Plus shows, as much as I don't tend to watch them, what I can say is from a practical making them side,
Hmm.
they're very high quality. The sets, the CGI, the costumes, all that stuff is very high quality. It never really looks cheap. I always just think that their writing and their structures is kind of where it slightly lets them down in terms of their shows.
Mm.
And this show I feel is the same, where it just sort of at times there's like 5 seconds of black, and I'm like, is there supposed to be an ad insert here?
Yes, yeah,
Because
I've noticed that too. Yeah.
it's a streaming site, so there's no ad. So I don't know why you're doing that and not just flowing it like it's a movie. Like that's what you should be doing. But I'm like it hasn't turned me off. It hasn't made me
Hmm.
go, I'm not watching the rest of this. Because there has been other Disney shows where I'd watch one or two episodes and go, yeah, this is not for me. I'm not gonna keep watching this.
Yeah, clocking out.
There's still enough kind of intrigue here to be like, okay, I want to see how this plays out. But so far I'm not like hugely loving all the characters we have.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to get into too much spoilers, but I kind of feel with a lot of the characters we have so far, especially by the end of season two or episode two, I feel a little bit like I don't, I'm not afraid for them.
No, I'm not worried about the Lost Boys at all. Like they're not biological, so
Is that all? Okay, we're saying that. Okay, has that been announced?
we're
Actually, was that
spoiling
announced?
the. We can spoil the first two episodes. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're spoiling.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah,
sorry.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. I don't
yeah,
know
yeah.
why I
As
thought I
a
was doing. I don't know why I was dumping around. Yeah, the Lost
if
Boys, the weird hybrid things. Cool guy, cool concept of
really cool
immortality.
concept. I really liked it when it was just Wendy, and I thought,
Mm.
oh, this is an interesting like one character. But when it was multiple characters, that's where I was like, okay, I would much rather that she was amongst other humans and they don't know how to feel about her.
And she's still
And
trying to come to
she's
terms with what is she really.
yeah, and she's like, no, but I am human, and just
Mm.
it's just not a human body. And yeah, like there's so many interesting sci-fi storytelling parallels can be done with that. And even the whole child trapped in an adult's body thing, but like
Mm.
will she forever be that age, even though she'll have all these different experiences? That body will never mature either, so she'll even if she reaches beyond her years, then she will always look
Mm.
young. So there's lots of interesting, like, so as a sci-fi concept, that's a really interesting, like, sci-fi should make you ask questions and should raise questions about, like, what's it mean to be human? What's it mean to be alive? All those kinds of things, which the Alien franchise has done many times.
Mm.
Um, Particularly with the idea of the synthetics, like that kind of, this is playing into the whole, like what Ridley Scott was trying to do with David and stuff, just in a from a different angle,
Mm.
as opposed to, um, like I think David was more like let's raise questions about the creator and about God and things like that. If man makes machine, is man the god of machine? But then the machine realizes that it's like I've met my creator, you've never met yours. You're looking for yours. There's all interesting philosophical questions there. But this one is more about sort of, I suppose, identity and things. Like, are
Mm.
you still human if your body is not, but your mind is, and all these kinds of things. But yeah, so so far, like what I've seen, much like you, I'm not turned off by it. Do wish it was a movie because I just think I prefer Alien as a movie event as opposed
Mm.
to a show. And I do think I'm like, I I think I will enjoy this season, but I'm worried about the longevity of a show called
Yeah,
Alien
but
Earth.
but
Like I'm
like
will this be a self-contained, just one-off one season thing? And I don't think it is because I've heard interviews where they talk about the seasons they have planned. So I'm like, okay,
oh right, okay.
now I'm worried about how long this might go on for. As a self-contained event, though, I like the premise.
Mm.
Fucking loved the opening to
Mm.
the first episode. I loved it. I was like, I hope it's all like this. I hope it like this even looks like it was shot in
It's
the
be
70s. It
yeah.
feel like the coloring of it, the practical set. Obviously, it's a spiritual homage, almost a remake of
The opening to one,
the opening to
Alien one.
one, but it's not a remake because it's different characters and different dialogue. But the
Mm.
way they're talking across the table and stuff, there's the guy who I really like in the show so far who looks like he's got a Yaphet Kotto vibe about him,
Mm.
but he's not the Yaphet Kotto character of the show because he's got a different role and he's what's called a hybrid.
No, he's a cyborg.
Well,
I
he's a
think
cyborg.
I think
Sorry,
Wendy's the hybrid, and
yes,
then Timothy Oliphant's character
is
is
the
the
synthetic.
synthetic. Yeah, yeah. So they're covering all three
And
in
I
the show.
feel like if you had just those three, you would have enough. I think the issue I have is the other Lost Boys. I think Wendy is enough.
Yeah, because with all the others, you're distracting from being able to ask the questions. And then when the Lost Boys, I think one of them gets attacked by like the weird octopus thingy.
Mm,
And I was like, okay, if this was it, this is the moment when I was like, it kind of clicked into my head, and I was like, right, if this was a human, I'd be worried, but this is synthetic, so like the body is synthetic, so I'm not worried.
yeah, like obviously, yes, there's that
There's
thing of like,
psychological trauma to them because they're only children. So, and that
yes,
era, it's like, it goes really goes to show how much how immature Wendy was to be like, oh yeah, release the Lost Boys. But then again, also they had no clue what they were going into. How much the
Mhm.
boy genius doesn't give a shit about his product.
Mm.
Um,
What do you think of him?
Cliche.
Oh, I really like him. I think he's one of the standout performances in the show so far.
And no, it was nothing to do with the performance. It's to do with it's to do with the dialogue.
He reminds me of Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah, he'd be very, very much like that.
Yeah. Young, lots of money, highly intelligent.
Is he?
I think, yeah, to the point, well, so the show says. Like, again, we're only going by what the show is telling us. But
Yeah,
um, he, I'm guessing he figured out this technology
probably. Yeah, yeah, he probably came up with it.
because he's the one that's saying that he was fucking bored. Like,
Yeah,
he
it's
wanted to
that
have a
it's
conversation with
it's
someone.
that conversation that actually made me go, oh, he's cliche.
Okay, okay.
That conversation because I just felt that to me is the conversation of someone who is arrogant,
Hmm.
not intelligent. Well, I suppose that's the flaw of the character.
Yeah.
He's very arrogant, but actually, by having that mentality, he's not that smart.
Yes, but I don't think you can. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think you can be that high level of intelligence that you're saying he is and not be arrogant. I think that's very impossible, actually. I think you will always look
Well,
down on
as
people
well as
around you.
as well as being a CEO, I suppose, of a company. Yeah, it's like a whole mash of just like all the issues
Yeah, yeah, and he's
slapped
and
together.
he's so young that he's like,
Yeah.
I've accomplished so much already at my age, and like, pff, what else is there, you know?
Mm.
I take a like I just from that scene, I and I know this is not going to happen, but I was like, oh man, I'd love to see him talk to David.
Would be cool.
Like a
That'd be cool.
conversation between him and David would be fucking fascinating.
Maybe that's the thing. Maybe like that's gonna be the tragedy of him is that that's exactly who he needs to talk to, and he'll never get to.
Yeah, or he will and he'll regret
Or
it.
he will. Oh my God, could you
Imagine if
imagine?
David came into the show.
That would be wonderful because I've
If they
seen.
found some way of like bringing kind of tying up the loose end of the end of Covenant.
Yeah, because I've
That'd
seen
be great.
people as well being all like, "Oh, Alien Earth rewrites the lore that Ridley Scott set up," and I was like, watching then the two episodes, going, How, where, when, what?"
No,
No,
I
it
don't think
doesn't.
it
It does. It
does.
doesn't at all. Like, because
No.
also if it rewrites the lore of Ridley Scott's movies, it would have to rewrite the lore of Romulus, and I just don't think they're going to do that. So, no, it doesn't. For anyone who may have seen those posts and thinks it does this, it doesn't do that.
Well, not in the first two episodes. Maybe
No, not
maybe
for
someone
episode.
has seen the whole thing and maybe
Yeah,
it does. I don't know, but
no.
um but yeah, so far like I like the show. I don't love the show, but I like
Mm,
it more than I dislike it. Like enough to
mm,
keep watching it.
yeah,
I'm happy that the episodes are like an hour long and not like a lot of Disney shows are like half an hour each. And
right.
if I that would annoy me because I prefer to binge shows anyway. So waiting a week for like a half hour show or a half hour episode would annoy me. Whereas to wait a week for an hour is like okay, there's decent content to actually like get your teeth sunk into, you know.
Yeah, you're
Um,
watching pretty much you're watching half a movie, so at least that's worth the wait. I know what you mean. That if it was 30 minutes, like it's a bit.
yeah,
I do like the crawl was cool actually. The idea of humans seeking immortality, and they found three different ways to do it. At the start of the first episode,
mm,
I like that, and I like the opening credits, the like the infographic type thing, where you're following the shape of the xenomorph with all the writing and stuff like that.
yeah, that
That's
was
not,
cool.
and then the way again they do the writing that forms Alien Earth. It's like that's nice. That's cool. I like
I
that.
love the way the xenomorph so far has. I will have something to say about the xenomorph as well, but I do love the way they're using it. Like I love the way it is hiding in different
Mm,
backgrounds, and then it moves like in very cool ways, in ways that it did a lot in both Alien One and Aliens.
yeah,
Um, there is like at least two or three moments in the first two episodes where it is there, but it's hiding.
yeah. I think the character Herman. I actually like the character Hermit. I think he's quite endearing.
Which one's
But
Hermish? Is he the brother
he's the
that's having an awful time?
yeah. He's having
Yeah,
the worst day
he's
ever.
having the worst day ever. The poor guy.
Yeah, yeah. What he's talking to when he's in the hallway. Do you remember they're outside the apartment?
Yeah.
And you just have the statues. And then it's
Yes.
like at first like it's just statues. Then the next time I'm like, oh, there it is. There it is. I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
It's,
brilliant.
I think that's done really cool, really
That's
well.
done very well. And when like I think it's Hermit with two of the other soldiers. They're walking through the ship,
Mm. And
and
it
then the
moves there
alien's
as well.
tail. Yeah, it's like that's good. That's
Yeah.
nice.
So I love that. The xenomorph looks great.
Yeah, practical
Um,
effects.
is incredibly
Mm,
violent. So it's a
fucking hell.
scary creature. You know, you do not want to fuck with this thing. They've really highlighted how dangerous the xenomorph is. Um, but I have a complaint about the xenomorph. That's gonna sound weird because I love everything I've seen of it. I think it's come into the show too soon, which I know, like, I think some people would find weird thing to say because they're like, man, if I watch 2 episodes of a show called Alien and I don't see a xenomorph, I'm out, right? But I'm like, I think you gotta build up to this thing. I honestly thought we were gonna get, you gotta go through like the different creatures and it's gonna like get more and more intense, and
Well, yeah, because
and
they're
we build
still
up to the xenomorph, right?
because technically they're still aliens. So you still have your alien Earth because you have aliens on Earth. Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Because yeah, I liked that it was actually introduced earlier, but I thought it was going to be dead when the ship crashed. I thought the xenomorph was going to be dead. So we got the xenomorph in the first 2 episodes. It
okay,
was
okay,
dead.
yeah.
Now we're wondering who the fuck is the host? Who's going to become the next host?
Yeah,
I think
unfortunately though, it's you're looking at going, well, it's going to be the brother in it because like none of the Lost Boys can carry it unless their bodies are organic as well. I don't know, but I don't think so.
I'd imagine it's similar enough to I apologize if you can hear a dog barking. That is my dog. She hates guests. She
Nah,
hates seeing other people.
she doesn't like you talking about the xenomorph.
She
Shut
doesn't.
up up there.
Hey, shut up in there, will you? The yes.
Don't worry about the dog. I can barely hear it.
Okay. The well, where was I going with this though? The xenomorph. I
Well, we
can't
just
remember where.
talked about how the brother is the likely
Yes.
target.
I mean, again, if they wrote it the way, see, if they had just asked us how to write it, Chris, we would have told them what to do, and that
Really?
was actually,
Is that the problem?
yeah, that was the problem. They didn't come to us
Yeah.
about it. Yeah,
Me and you
yeah.
specifically.
Specifically us. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. You would have had a crew of people,
Yes.
humans.
Yes.
One lost boy, Wendy. I get why there's multiple because it's the Peter Pan thing, because from
Yes.
the island Nevermore and all that sort of stuff. So I get why there's lost boys.
Neverland. Neverland. Nevermore
Yeah, but
is
the
Wednesday.
yes, but is I think that's what they call the island is Nevermore, not Neverland.
No, it's Neverland.
All right, we're double checking. We're googling.
I'm pretty certain it's Neverland. Nevermore is the place in Wednesday.
Earth,
Which sounds like
island
Wendy, I know,
name.
but
Oh yeah, Neverland. Why did I think it was Nevermore?
because that's in Wednesday.
But I like barely watched that show. That's weird.
Yeah, but
It
see,
just
you did watch it though.
it left such a profound tense
Yeah.
like Wednesday. I was like, so good. Yeah, so I get that they come from Neverland and they're Lost Boys and blah blah blah. But yeah, they by not having many human characters by the end of episode 2, other than the brother,
Mm.
it is a little bit like, okay.
Unless they're about to introduce more. So one thing I like the premise of a ship. Like it's a great premise for an alien movie, right? There's a
Mm,
ship carrying specimens. They got out. The ship crashes. People go to do a uh, rescue and reconnaissance mission, and then they find the horrors. That's
yes.
fantastic. So I feel like after that opening scene, and I liked the quick flashes of horror without
Yeah,
showing
yeah.
what actually happened. Um, but then I wish that the ship crashed and we know nothing more. So even though I really like that scene with the guy and he types on the computer and the xenomorph's just outside, it's a great scene. I feel like that's one that we could have got later when
Yeah,
we
I
get
think
an
just
episode that maybe does a flashback as to what actually happened. But I think we don't have enough questions going in. I don't think there's enough of a, oh shit, what actually happened here and who let them out or, that kind of a thing. Like, I don't. I feel like we know way too much, and and there's very little stakes actually.
Hmm.
Um, Apart from us going in with our own already knowledge of Alien as a franchise, that we're like, okay, so those eggs on the ship are bad and they're on Earth, so this is a bad thing,
Hmm.
because now they could actually get a xenomorph outbreak. Um,
Yes.
but beyond that, I'm not feeling the stakes. So I like the show, I like the production quality and all that shit, but I'm not feeling the stakes of the show.
Hmm. Hmm. I'm assuming there's a queen egg on that ship.
There has to be, right? There has to
Yeah.
be, or otherwise, it's like, well, once we kill these, we'll be fine,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
There
There's
has to
definitely.
be a queen to really go, oh, actually, yeah, we could be fucked.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the only question I'm having so far with the show is just um why is the xenomorph so violent? Which might
Hmm.
sound like a weird question because we're like, it's the xenomorph, of course it's violent, and it's like the xenomorph is fast, it's quick, it is violent, but this violent, this is a different violent. Like this is because it's so in every other iteration of it, it's fast, but it's a snatcher. It snatches people and brings them to a nest, or it just punches you
Kills
in the
them and
it punches
disposes of them.
yeah, yeah, it just punches you in the face with its tongue. Like
Yeah.
that's about it. This is punches a guy in the face with his tongue, swings him around, goes into another room, slices everybody up. I mean,
It's an animal.
it's an
Pure,
animal.
like, wild
So
animal.
I'm
Yeah.
wondering, is this more supposed to be what the dog alien from Alien 3 was like?
Okay.
Is that why it's like
I
nearly always
wonder,
on all fours and everything like that when it moves?
I do wonder if it's going to be because I think it's interesting that you've picked up on that. It's certainly the most violent xenomorph we've ever seen.
Hmm.
I would agree with that. I think that's fair to say from even when it just ravages that apartment and the blood is everywhere.
Yes.
But I'm wondering, is it a story choice? Like there will be something like that xenomorph is on some sort of uh, alien version of LSD, and or it's been given a steroid that makes it more aggressive, or it has come out of something that made it more aggressive. Like, is
Hmm.
there going to be a story reason, or is it just this director was like, I want to show you the alien like you've never seen it before. I want to show you, uh, maybe in a way, it's like I feel like we never really saw how violent this thing could be. So
And
I want to push it to its limits in a
uh,
similar way to like when say Zack Snyder wants to do a Batman and he's going, I'm just going to do it's Batman as you remember him, but he's going to be more violent
hmm.
than you've ever seen him before. Maybe it's just this guy saying like there might not be a story reason as to why it's this violent. It might just be a this is how in my head I envisioned it would be if it wasn't limited by the filmmaking of the time.
Right. And maybe as well, because this is probably the first time we've ever saw Alien dealing with multiple people at once.
It's probably freaking the fuck out, actually. I wonder, is it afraid? Is it like, what the fuck? Ah, these people wear makeup. But,
No, but
or,
then again, the
yeah,
first girl, it didn't stalk towards her. It ripped her apart. The very
yes,
first person,
it
it
did, yeah.
ripped, which is not very alien. Like that would have
And
been
then
a
it
moment with
ravaged its way into the door as well.
yes, and then it fucking headbutted the elevator. Boy, Hermit's having a bad day.
Yeah, it's really interesting to pick up on that, actually. And I wonder, is it a story choice or is it just I just want to see like how violent I can go with this thing. You know, it'll be interesting to see is it something that they um
Cooked up,
address at all,
or
or
yeah,
will
yeah,
it just be by the end of it you're just like, oh no, it's just how he wanted to present the xenomorph.
yeah,
Um,
it's just a violent xenomorph.
but I do think
I
that we've seen it too soon. I know it sounds weird. I feel like we should have built up to this thing, and now the other aliens just kind of feel
they feel
like
tacked on, I
they
think.
feel like they're just there, right? And like at one point, someone made the comment of, "Oh, it's like a zoo and the animals got out," and I was like, "Oh my god, now there's your premise, Jurassic Park, but aliens." You know what I mean? Or it's like, yeah, we had this research place to come and look at all the specimens, and then they all got out, and they are all horrible. Like that's a
Uh,
fucking great
they
premise.
are all horrible. I think the one that actually made me kind of was the weird. spider sack thing.
What's that one?
The weird alien, and it does webs.
Oh yeah.
And it's the two guys were chained to the
Oh, and
pipe.
it just drained their blood and just
Yeah, yeah,
got bigger.
yeah.
It's like a fucked up. It's a mixture of different insects, isn't it? But the way it kills you is almost like a leech that like just keeps sucking.
Hmm.
Very vampiric in that sense. I was freaked out by the the eyeball one with the tentacles.
Yeah, yeah.
It was like, oh, that's very alien, as in not
Very
just an alien,
parasitic, like
but
it's.
very like in tune with the alien movies, where it's like, okay, so what that thing does then, by looking at the cat, is it rips through your eye, replaces your eye, and its tentacles go inside your head and then turn you into a zombie.
Hmm. It's
I was
nasty.
like, that needs to get inside someone.
Yeah, but this is the problem with the Lost Boys.
Yes. Yeah, this is the problem with The Last Boys, which is why we need to see more
More
human
humans.
characters. So, in terms of speculating where it's going to go, then, are we assuming that a Wayland Yutani team are going to be sent in?
Yes, for sure.
And are we assuming that they will be human? They're sent in for extraction to meet with the cyborg?
I like the cyborg character. He's
I like
very
him a
cool.
lot. I
He's
like that
very
he is
cool.
still like he's trying to complete the mission.
Mm.
Yeah. He seems like a really good actor too. Like he's very in command of the scenes he's in.
Yes, yes, he's very, very cool.
I like
Like,
him. I personally do like the young guy. He's the opposite of Wayland.
mm.
Um and I like Wendy. Uh
I don't know why she brought a sword.
yeah, that was a bit weird. I like Wendy. I don't love Wendy yet. See how it goes.
They feel, you know what they, sorry, do you know what they feel like to me, actually? Wendy and Lost, especially considering, I suppose, Wendy put on a fucking katana on her back. Um, Alice and her clones from the W.S. Anderson movies.
A little bit, yeah, a
Yeah,
little bit.
they're
I
very
thought
daft.
she picked up a blade from a like
Oh, it's like a guillotine or something like that.
yeah,
Yeah,
a
yeah.
guillotine. I think that's what she has on her back, isn't it?
She just ripped it off and put it on her back. Yeah, but I was just like, why did she do that? And why did none of the others get a blade?
Uh, Cause she knows she's going on a mission and they haven't a fucking clue what to do. Yeah, I do wish it was just her. I now maybe as the show goes on, we'll start to really like the other Lost Boys and we'll be like, actually, the guy knew what he was doing and that was amazing. You know, it's too early days to say yet, but at the moment, they're not doing much for me now. I would have preferred her, which I like Timothy Oliphant as a
Hmm.
character as well, but just humans then. And I would have liked that as a parallel because she's trying to stay human, and maybe Timothy is filling her head with, but you're not human.
Hmm.
You're like
He's,
me, you know? But because she's a hybrid, she actually then goes through an identity crisis of, I don't know who I am. And
yeah.
that would be super interesting. But yeah, I'm looking forward to when the boy genius, as they call him, boy Cavalier, comes into contact with the xenomorph. That's what I'm looking forward to because I think that's going to happen.
For sure. He's gonna get fucked.
He's going to want it actually, isn't he?
Yeah, because I think at the end of episode 2, he's like, all right, I want whatever's on that ship because Wayland Yutani wanted to send Miss Yutani wanted to send a crew, and so he's
Yeah,
like,
yeah. He gets excited
well,
about it. He's like, I want one.
obviously,
Yeah,
yeah, whatever they want
whatever's
on
on
that.
that ship, I want it.
Yeah, like that I liked that moment. I think it was just the cliche of the conversation he has with the
Mm.
doctor, where he's like, I'm just bored and I want to talk to someone smarter than me. I was like, yeah, okay, I see what you're doing. You're making the I don't know. I think I'd like to see a CEO that seems really nice, but actually, the story goes on, you just start to go, wait a minute.
All right, yeah. As opposed to it's like, well, from the outset, you're clearly a maniacal maniac. You know,
Yeah,
you're
yeah, like so, it's like so when people are like writing these super intelligent evil CEOs, they seem to forget the part that put them where they are, which is manipulation.
yes.
They need to be able to be really good with manipulating people, and they seem to always lack that because they're just like, "You're too stupid for me," and "I'm so amazing," and it's just like, where's the social intelligence part that there seems to be lacking?
Yes, I get what you mean. It's like, why would anyone work for this guy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's gonna be talking like that to you. It's like,
But I
eh.
wonder, and obviously, yes, and like,
Unless
how
everyone is
long,
a machine.
well, how long do you want to spend on the setup as well? It's like, was he always like that? Or is it at a point now where he, because he or has everything now, he's like, well, now I don't have to be nice to you because you already work for me. You know,
Yeah, I know.
I
I'm
don't
sure
know, like,
there's. Sure, I'm not talking like they didn't need to rewrite him for this show. I just mean in general going forward. If they're writing,
yeah, it's like, it's getting stale. It's
yeah,
getting
yeah, it's getting
stale.
a little stale.
Sure.
But I can't wait for him to open because it's gonna happen. There's gonna be on Neverland. The facility's gonna get overrun. He's gonna lock everyone into a room. He's going to escape. He's gonna. Oh, it's gonna be like your man from Aliens, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
He's gonna
yeah.
open the door and then the alien's gonna be there, and he's like, "Fuck," or it's gonna be the octopus.
I do love Paul Reiser's character actually from
Paul Rudd's character is
Aliens.
very good.
He's
Yeah.
very charming and very like
Right,
not
that's
just
actually
straight out evil, you know. But then he represents something else. So he is the salesman. That's what Paul Reiser's character. Paul Reiser is like, yeah, he's like the hey, you want to buy a car, kid? Like he's that kind of guy. Like he's a salesman, and he will sell you, you know,
Hmm.
on this idea. And he works for the company, but he's not the overlord of the company. Whereas like even Wayland talked down to people because he's like, you know, like he talked down to his own daughter, wasn't it, Charlize Theron in
Yeah.
Prometheus? Like he knows he's better than you. David is my real son because I made him, and I am intelligent, and I want to meet God. You know. Now make me my tea, David. I am important. Like so, it's just maybe there's a different attitude though, because he did it with more of a respect your elders, and
Hmm.
this guy seems to be more like an annoying kid that you want to fucking punch in the face.
Well,
When
as you
talking to
said,
you.
Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor. Like he just
He is Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor, basically.
yeah, yeah. No, it is
Yeah.
a good performance off him because you can just tell by the way he goes on. It's like, oh, you're a little shit.
Yeah, he's a little asshole. Like you want to kick his ass. But I like the idea of different companies competing. It's actually kind of
Hmm.
nice to get another company who kind of want to one up Wayland Yutani, and I think that adds an interesting dynamic. I think that's cool. I'm curious to see where the whole show goes. Like you said, I haven't written it off yet. I will check it out.
No. Hmm.
Um, do I don't love it, but I
No.
don't dislike it. I don't think it's bad. I think it's
I wasn't
mostly
I
good.
wasn't bored. There was other TV Disney shows where I watched the first episode. I went, I am bored watching this. I was not bored watching
No, I
this.
wasn't bored. I want to see where it goes.
Yeah.
But it's more the more I think about it that I get more worried about the stakes. So it's like as
Mm.
I'm watching it, I'm going, "Oh, this is cool, yeah." And oh wow, that was a great scene. Or like when
Yeah.
the xenomorph pops out and the brother jumps across the thing and it jumps after him, and like that was a really thrilling scene and stuff.
Mm.
Or it's chasing him and he gets to the elevator and you're like, "Holy shit!" Like that's very intense. But I don't feel like we built up to it is the problem. So I'm like, it's intense in the moment, but I don't feel it was earned.
Right, like yeah, because if I do feel a little bit like again, I think the xenomorph could have been in the first episode, killed your one, tried to get your man. We're seeing it's aggressive, but it dies in the crash. Something impales it, blah blah blah, right? And so the characters could find him like, what the fuck is this thing? You know
Mm,
what I mean? Much like in Romulus. So now we're waiting for the okay, who's going to get the face hugger,
yeah,
right? Because you
someone's
have
gonna
these human
get it.
characters. But then, yeah, I think like you said earlier in the podcast, that the we see the other aliens, the
Yeah,
other
like
horrors.
so there's still threats, there's still
Yeah.
horror, there's still the right tone and stuff, but you're building up to the xenomorph. Because I tell you, it kind of feels like, and I know I already made the comparison to Jurassic Park earlier, where like it's like all the creatures get out, but you know if you watch Jurassic Park, if Jurassic Park had been re-edited, where as they arrive to the island and they're getting taught how this was all done, like Mr. DNA is taught to them, it also cuts to velociraptors eating people.
Hmm.
And although all the scenes would still be cool, there would also be a weird like I feel like I'm watching the build up and the reward at the
At,
same time.
Yeah.
And I feel like we need to like the reward is cool and all, but I don't feel like I earned that reward yet. I need to build me up to it. I need to
Hmm.
get to a point where I go, oh shit, here we go. You know, I need to see the electric fence go down
Yeah.
and then be like, oh fuck, they're fucked now because you've set up the premise. You know,
Mm.
but then maybe this was more inspired. Maybe it's more going for like Jaws. You know what I mean? And in Jaws, as they're discovering that there's a shark out there, you get to see the shark eat people as well. So maybe that's more the blueprint for it. I don't know. Um, but it's just yeah, it's a strange way I think of structuring it. And part of me is wondering, is it the way they wanted to do it, or is it a Jesus? If we're doing a TV show of Alien, we better make sure the xenomorph is in every episode at least once, or people are going to give out to us.
Yeah, maybe.
Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, I personally wouldn't, but I can understand the
Their mentality.
fear you might have of the mass populace who fucking hated Covenant. You know, and I don't know why. I fucking love Covenant. I think it's one of the best alien movies out there, but they hated it. And do people even understand why they hated it? And when you look at it, yes, it's like, oh, is it because the xenomorph is barely in it? It doesn't come in till the very end. Oh shit, maybe we need to we need more xenomorph then. They loved Alien Romulus. There was lots of xenomorph in that. You even saw it in the first scene. Okay, having lots of xenomorphs, that's the thing that's going to make people like it. I'm like, not necessarily. I don't know if it is actually, but
Because I like Alien. There's, I mean, let's say that is the reason people hated Covenant. I actually don't. I'm pretty sure they
I don't
hated.
think it is. Yeah, I think they
No,
hated it anyway.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But let's say hypothetically it was the Alien was in it too late.
right.
They'd be quite pissed off. They went and saw the first Alien movie. Sure, it doesn't show up until the end of the movie.
Yeah, like that is also a slow build up to the creature, and
Weirdly enough, actually, I don't know. I don't know if it's just me. Weirdly enough, flies by. Or a well paced or something like that. It doesn't
oh,
feel
it's
like it's
like Alien is one of the best movies ever made.
it's like Jaws, because you don't see
It is
Jaws. You
one of
don't
the
see
best movies ever made.
Bruce. You don't see Bruce until the end of the movie.
Yeah,
Other than that, it's just the camera and the duh, and then the
yeah,
person
yeah.
getting dragged underwater, blah, the flame in their hands, right? But you never see it
No,
until it pops out of the water at the very end of the movie. And yet you could watch that movie and be like, this is so good. And like
and
Alien's the same. It's just
the fact as well that Jaws had so many problems getting
mm.
made. Like the reason you don't see the shark for most of the movie is because they couldn't get the fucking shark to work, and they're like, ah, shit, what are we gonna do? And that actually improved the movie as a
Yeah.
result. And I'm actually wearing a Jaws T-shirt right now.
Hey, look at that,
Hey,
Jaws.
look at that. But yeah. So I'm liking the show. I'm gonna keep watching it, see where it goes. I'm worried about the longevity of seasons 2, 3. Like, I would prefer a self-contained, like you said. Actually, I would have preferred a movie in the first place. But
Yeah.
I'm also not gonna say no to content that I think is respectful for the most part, and content that I think is done well. And I
Hmm.
do think this is done well. Um, and I like to see where it goes. Have you any like other hopes for Alien Earth before we wrap up this week's episode?
Fucking, I don't know. I hope that they have another weird, disgusting thing, like at the end of Romulus or something, where we could all be like, "What the fuck?"
So would you hope that they push the boundaries in another way that makes everyone go, Jesus Christ, what the
Yes,
fuck is that?
because I don't think we've seen all the weird life forms on that ship. In fact, I don't think we've fully seen that plant open up. So like what is even in that?
Hmm.
I don't know. I'm hoping they play more role. I've seen the xenomorph now. I know what that's doing.
Yeah.
I would like to know, is there a reason why it's so aggressive? I love the cyborg. Will like Wayland Yutani sending a crew. That would
Yeah,
be
I would
cool.
like that too. Yeah.
Um
So that we have
yeah,
some humans to get
get
their
killed. But then there's like a political tension, I suppose,
as
now as
well. Yeah.
well. Yeah,
Yeah.
which would be interesting. But I'm more like kind of going, okay, what do these aliens do? Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? What does that weird leech do with all the blood? When the octopus gets into somebody, what's
Yes.
that gonna look like?
That's
You
gonna
know
look
what I mean?
horrible.
Yeah. So
I'm with you. I'm very curious as to by the end of the season, will we feel like the other aliens were justified? Because
mm,
I thought initially, I always knew that there was that the premise was that there was going to be other aliens, and I really thought it was because they weren't going to have the xenomorph straight away,
mm,
and so that as a show there would be other things in the lead up to the xenomorph. But because they have the xenomorph straight away, and we've seen it very aggressively already,
mm.
it does make me wonder, well, then what was the point in the other aliens? Like, you could have just had that they were transporting the xenomorph and it got crashed. Um, which makes me think that there will be a point. I'm sure there's a genuine story reason or thematic reason why the director wanted to have these other creatures. And I'm really interested to see what role they play. But so far in the structure, it seems to be structured weird to me that
Hmm.
we didn't come across like one of them at a time, almost like a creature of the week uh,
Episodes have done,
in
yeah,
the episodes, building up to the, one of the greatest creatures in all of cinema history being the
yeah.
xenomorph. So yeah, really curious to see what they'll do. And yes, we do need some human victims because these are all very, very biological creatures. Um, which is obviously like the Lost Boys is probably how the heroes win
Hmm.
because they can't be subjected to these things. They can be killed, obviously, but they can't be like their bodies can't be used in the way that human bodies can. But we do need some human victims to actually showcase how horrible these creatures really are. So
Yeah,
hopefully we get more characters sent in.
I feel very sorry for the crew of that ship.
Yes, and do you think we should have one episode that actually shows what happened? I would like one episode that shows what happened.
I'm good with either one. The one that show if they have an episode that shows what happens, my God, that's gonna be horrifying. Maybe that is the one where we're all gonna be like, Jesus Christ,
Yeah,
what do you do?
because that might show like the thing going into someone's eye and like
Yeah.
the whole crew getting fucked up. Like
Yeah. On the other hand, I'm also okay with just the
imagining it.
yeah, the idea of just being like I don't know exactly how this played out, but I would hate to have been on that ship. I feel so sorry for that crew. But then again, I think they have some notable actors in that crew. So it'd be weird
Yeah,
to
and
just have
yeah,
it only as the
that's what I
one
because of the
scene.
way it opened. I was like, oh, I like these characters
Mm,
already. So yeah, I would like to see more of
mm.
them in some way, shape, or form. But now we'd love to hear from you guys. Would you love to see what actually happened to that crew? Do you like the mystery of it? Do you want to fed in little flashbacks, or would you like a full dedicated episode to it? How are you liking the show so far? Did you enjoy the first two episodes? Are you liking what it's setting up for the whole season? Are you worried about it? How do you feel about it? Do let us know. We'd love to hear from you. So if you watch this YouTube, jump down into the comments to share your thoughts. If you enjoyed this episode, please give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, ring the notification bell for future content. And to those who listen to us on audio platforms, you can touch base with social media, Facebook, Instagram, and X at The Brothers Take. Again, to give your take on Alien Earth so far. We won't be talking about Alien Earth again until probably the whole season has ended.
Mm.
We might do a full season kind of spoiler review in some way, shape, or form, either as a bonus, as a full episode. We will see. If we fall off it, we'll definitely not talk about it. So we'll have to see how it goes, but these are just our first impressions. Next week's episode, we are getting back to gaming because Gamescom will have been out. It's literally on this week with this episode out. But by the time we will have seen it, it'll be next week's episode when we get to talk about it. So look forward to us jumping back into more gaming. So make sure you're following the podcast for that. We will be back to talk to you guys next time. Bye
Bye bye.
bye.